Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 120, Cobra Night Attack 4-Wheel Drive Stinger and Driver. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, we've got the Cobra logo, number 120, and that like carbon fiber-y looking deco that's all over the box. On the front, warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. And then looks like we've got some nice practical photography of the vehicle and the ferrets. There's another stinger back there, it looks like. So it's Cobra logo, Cobra Night Attack 4-Wheel Drive Stinger and Driver, G.I. Joe Classified Series, Hasbro print, and there's a little bubble blister there with the driver. And then up here it says 4 and up and the assortment number. On this side, it's got some nice artwork of the driver, G.I. Joe Classified Series number 120. Let's see what it says on the other side. And the other side is the, there's the artwork, number 120. There is his skill set. He's Cobra. There, number 120. There's the QR code that if you want to scan that, you can. It probably just takes you to shop.hasbro.com. G.I. Joe Classified Series there at the very bottom. And before we get to the back, how about we take a look at the bottom. There's small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, a barcode, and adult assembly required in all kinds of languages. And then recycled print and stuff I'm not going to learn. Then finally, on the back side of the packaging, here it's number 120. It's got all the, general classified packaging signatures there, that half Cobra symbol. Cobra Night Attack 4-Wheel Drive Stinger and Driver. And then there's a nice digital render of everything included in the packaging. And then here's some close-ups of some of the stuff. So steering wheel, a hood, dashboard, and then there is the skill set of the driver again. And here it says parents, GIJoe.com. And then warning, attention, Octone, don't stick things in any language pie hole that don't belong there. Don't give it the baby's attention, especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. And then includes figure with 8 pieces and vehicle with 21 unassembled pieces, and then some other small fine legalese print right there, and Hasbro print. And I dropped it. That, my friends, does it for a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure, the vehicle, and the accessories. And first up, let's start off. It does come with an instruction manual. It does tell you how to put everything together. As you can see, you do have to put the tires on it, just like the Vamp. And then other things go on it as well. Some of this stuff I already put on here. All of it I actually put on there. I pulled some of it off. I didn't pull all of it off. So it even shows you, put the helmet on the dude. Dude helmet. So let's start off with these explosion effects. And we've seen them before. They came with scrap iron. I think they may have come with something else too. So we've got these nice explosion effects. And just like with scrap iron, there's 2 of them. Got nice little bits of paint app on it down here for the cloudy, smoky pieces, I suppose. And then translucent plastic throughout. And then we have this one also that's like a explosion that's blowing away. I guess I don't know exactly what this effect is supposed to be, but again, translucent plastic, nice paint app here. And then this one, which is similar to the other one, lots of smoky paint going on there, but it is molded in the translucent plastic. And it's I mean, they're nice looking pieces, but and here we have the trails for the missiles, and I think there was a missed opportunity here. They could have just remolded these and put the wishbone in here, but no, they just again gave us those same blast effects that scrap iron came with. The long one, and then here's the short one. Again, both of them are molded in this translucent plastic, and then these nice smoky paint jobs. And it's not that these pieces look bad or anything like that, it's just I would have liked something slightly different for this, probably more along the lines of what was on the Dragonfly. So, but anyway, let's take a look at the figure real quick, and then we'll get into the vehicle. And yeah, if you have any of the Cobra troopers or the Cobra officer, you're familiar with this. They haven't changed anything. Still pinned knees, still pinned elbows. Now the officer, of course, isn't, but what they take from the officer is just the accessories. So got some nice paint apps going on here. The eyes and the face is showing, so that's really cool. Paint app here and here, and I'm assuming it's all molded in this light gray plastic. Got some paint going on here on the chest. Cobra logo, which is upraised, and then, you know, a lot of this is molded in color. So I think that's pretty much all the paint apps. So let's go over his articulation really quickly. He looks up that far, and he's on the ball and hinge at the top of the neck, and then there's a ball at the bottom. So he looks up that far. He can look down that far. He can chicken neck. He can waggle. He can do the full exorcist. Shoulder, he's got butterfly, goes back that far, goes forward that far. I don't know why they bothered to put it in there, because it doesn't barely move. 360 degrees of rotation there at the shoulder, and he can raise his arm up not quite 90 degrees. Cut at the upper bicep for a full 360 degrees of rotation. Oops, there we go. He does have this armband, which designates him as a stinger driver. And then double hinge pinned elbow gives you approximately that much bend with this band in the way. There's also a twist right here at the glove for another 360 degrees of rotation. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on an up and down hinge, and the other side is an in and out hinge. At the mid torso, he has reverse ab, no, regular ab, and he can lean back that far in conjunction with the dumbbell at his waist. He can go back that far. Both of those, he can lean forward that far. And then at the waist, he can also lean left and right a little bit and rotate a full 360 degrees. At the hips, does have pull down joint. even with the pull down joint, he can only give you that much of the splits, which, I mean, for some lines, that's pretty good. He can kick forward approximately 90 degrees and backwards about a half a step. Cut at the upper thigh, full 360 degrees of rotation there. There's this knife sheath right here, and I forgot to cover that he does have a belt here with a holster on it as well. Double hinged pinned knee, and it gives you that much bend. Then at about the mid shin, there is a boot cut for another 360 degrees worth of rotation. Ankle tilts down that far. Ankle tilts up that far. Forward facing pin 4. Rocker. So that's a look at him. We'll take a look at his accessories real quick. And again, nothing we haven't seen before. So he does come with this rifle. Got a nice little paint app on there. Nice molded details throughout. It does have a removable magazine. It's got a slot right here. Just slide it into place. So that's good. He has this pistol. And again, this is nothing new. We have seen this pistol before. It's got a nice little Cobra logo molded into it. Nice molded details throughout as well. Molded in black plastic. And then we have the shorter rifle. Well, I guess it's a rifle. Yeah, it's got a fold-out stock on it, doesn't it? No, maybe. Yeah. Although it doesn't really work. Molded in black plastic, slot right here for the magazine. Here's the magazine. They're both alike. Just goes in that slot on the side. And he's ready to kapa. So there's that. Also, he has a helmet molded in this light gray. At least I'm assuming it's light gray. I'm colorblind. Don't make fun of handicapped people. It's got these paint apps on either side and then right here in the front as well. Oh, it goes all the way around the back. Duh. I should know that. Here he has a knife. Nice silver paint app for the blade, and it's probably molded in this color plastic. Does have nice molded details there on the handle, and a little bit of molded detail on the blade as well. Then we also have his holster for his back. It is made out of a little bit sturdier plastic than what we're normally accustomed to on this line. So, and the weapons are a little bit sturdier as well. Now, as far as storage, the knife, of course, goes into the sheath on his thigh. The pistol, of course, goes into the holster on his belt. And you'll see this is the officer's belt. I think it's the officer's belt. And it has storage for an extra magazine and the sight or laser sight that goes on the rifle, but he did not come with either one of those. So now, as far as this goes, the long rifle slides right into it just like that. And then he does have a port on his back, which that goes into and doesn't stay very well. Helmet. Just fit it right on his head, and it fits on there and stays due to friction. And then, of course, the magazine fell out. This one he just has to carry in his hand. Either hand will do. That's just the one I picked. So there you go. That's the driver. Now let's start taking a look at some of the accessories for the vehicle. Here's the missile rack. It just has a port on the bottom of it. Sticks on this pig right here, and we'll get to that momentarily. And it does range up and down. You hear those detents in there. So that's cool. Move that out of the way for just a minute. This is the back piece that goes on. It's got some stands on it, so somebody could stand back there and get, you know, hosed down with missile wash, but, you know. And it does have some nice molded detail in there. You know, I mean, overall, it's a good, nice looking little piece. Here's his little fire extinguisher. And we'll show where that goes momentarily. Nice yellow paint apps on it. Upper and lower. Or would it make more sense that it's molded in this color and this is the paint app? I don't know. Not a paint expert over here. So then here we have the shovel, and we'll show where that goes. And, you know, nice molded details. Looks like a shovel. Here's the, I don't know, cow catcher or brush guard or what. And here you can see where it clips on to the front right here. So nice and spiky looking. Kind of cool. Here's the missiles. There's 4 of those, so we'll just go take a look at one of them. So I don't really like the material they're made out of. It's kind of rubbery, and it does bend a little bit. So over time, they are going to warp. It does have that classic styled wishbone port that we've grown accustomed to with G.I. Joe. It does say XO4 right there. It's got some nice molded details. There's rivets there. These fins, the fins on the back. Of course, this port in the back, which is where the exhaust plugs into. So overall, I mean, it's a nice looking piece. I just wish it would have been out of a little bit sturdier bit of plastic. So all those missiles are the same. Here's the door. There's a left one and a right one. As you can see, it's louvered, and you can see through it just a bit. Nice riveted stuff, molded detail stuff on here. And then here's a clip right here where it clips into place. And again, we'll get to that in just a minute. Same thing all goes for this door. It's got a little bit of a paint app here on the inside as well. So that's really cool. And then here is the roof. It's got some nice paint apps here where these bunch of lights, big rows of lights, are to light up the night, because this is the night attack Stinger, and I don't understand it. It looks like regular Stinger to me. So I did already put the wheels on it. It does roll really good. This piece right here is a piece you have to put on it. I will have to say, for this to be a night vehicle, the windscreen is a bit too tinted. That's just my opinion. We've got some message right there. Beware of hot surface. To access turbo system, undo bolts, remove cover plate, and yada yada yada. So we do have some stuff there. The hood does lift up, and you can see the engine in there. So it's got some molded detail. It's not super detailed in there, but you know. And then looks like behind these grill plates for the lights, some nice paint apps for the lights. Looks like lots of rows of little LEDs. It's what it's, you know, meant to be. And then the blinker or fog lights down here. Ram bar. And then, you know, here we got the toe doodads. And it seems like they would hang down though, doesn't it? So let's hang them down. Now, just like the Vamp, it does have that topsy-turvy wheel issue. So they do bend out. So ram bar is up here, and then there's a little molded chain in there on the side here to unlatch, pull back, and do stuff. Beware. Please ensure mechanics are not underneath vehicle before using vehicle, so don't get in too much of a hurry. A couple little paint apps right down there. Got the Stinger logo right there, BWX04. On the back, here's the little post where the missile rack goes. Got some paint apps right here. Hot panel. Check it and see. On the back, turbo. And then we've got some lights here. And I don't know if this is an overlay piece or if those are painted in there for the brake lights. It looks like it's probably paint. So then we have the hitch right here. Exhaust pipes, maybe? Pretty small exhaust ports. Then Cobra logo right there. And then again, to unlatch and beware, those two little paint apps. On the inside, it's got lots of little paint apps going on in there. The steering wheel does rotate. The shifter here does move forward and backwards. Sorry, I bumped the camera. And again, another tempo right there. And then let's look at the inside from this side. So, very nice looking. Those could be stickers, I suppose. And then right back here, here's the clip where you put the fire extinguisher. So we'll start putting some of this together. So that clips in there. And it stays in there pretty good, although I won't say I love that. But there it is, and it really stands out, so you will be able to find that in an emergency, it looks like. The shovel here, this piece right here, and the handle hooks back in there. Well, not really hook, but, and you just push that down in there and then straighten it up a little bit. Now, in case I didn't say it before, just like the Vamp, these wheels do have shocks in them, and they are made out of that like rubbery plastic material, and they are hollow on the inside, so they will press. Alright, what is next? Let's put the bumper on. And basically it just fits on this bumper. And I keep calling it a bumper. It's not really a bumper, is it? So, and it just goes right on there. Next up, if I can find it. Where'd it go? Here we go. The brush guard or cow catcher, whatever you want to call it. Oh, also, I do want to mention, just like the Vamp, the winch does work and it winds back up in there. I suppose if you wanted to, you could take this apart, put a longer string on it if you needed, you know, longer winch maneuvers. So just line this up on this front bar right here where the indentations are, and just give it a nice little press on there, and it stays okay. It's not the sturdiest, I will say. So let's put the top on, and it goes with the lights facing forward, of course. So you got two clips right here on either side, and then some posts right here to help line it up. And there I go, bumping the camera again. So you just pop those on there, lower it down, and those posts will put it into place. Then you've got that. So then next up, I would say put the door on it, and again the door has the clip on it, and right here the roof piece has, you know, it has a space for the door to clip on, and it doesn't want to do it now. Now I go bumping the camera again. There we go. So we've got it on there, and the way you get those open is they're like these little clips here at the bottom, and you just raise it up, and it does clip into position. I don't know why I did that, because I'm gonna need it again. Oh, there goes the. Now you see what I'm saying about this piece doesn't stay on there the greatest. It's okay. Man, that thing is tight. So there's a nice satisfying click when you get it into place. And again, the door works the same way. Close that back up. A feature I didn't show is we do have shiny mirrors, and they are mirrored. So that is a cool thing. And then, you know, bump that a little bit, and guess what happens? It likes to come off. So now one thing I want to say about this missile rack, and you see it's got slots right here on the wishbone pegs. And that's because these have tabs on the inside of it. So when you put this on, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter which way you put it on, just which way you face it. So that would be facing front. So we just, the little port there, the little post here on the back, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. I think it's a little flimsy, especially with the weight going on here. And then all you have to do is line the posts for the missiles up. And repeat it 4 times. And there you have it, and that's how those work. And this is what I was talking about. So, you know, got a lot of exhaust coming out for that missile when it's still attached to the vehicle. So not a big selling point. These pieces here are not a big selling point for me, but there you have it, my friends. The vehicle all assembled and gone over, and the figure. And it's time for my favorite part of a review: comparisons. And because these things tend to take up so much space, we're going to do it old school, where I just set it up there without the turntable. And first up, we have here the Cobra Night Attack 4-wheel drive Stinger and Stinger driver with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Vamp with clutch. And you can see there is a ton of similarities between these two vehicles because the base mold of them are the same, just like in a Real American Hero. Next up, we have the Ram Cycle, G.I. Joe Classified Series Ram Cycle with Breaker. And then our final vehicle comparison, the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Ferret and Ferret Scout. And now we'll see how they compare up with a couple of Action Force figures. And here we have the Action Force Swarm Sentry. Sorry, I couldn't think of it there for a minute. And then here we have the Action Force, well, I guess he's part of Swarm too, Scarab. So there are those two. And next up, we have our old standbys. Here we have, making his cameo appearance from the Marvel Legends series, Stan the Man Lee. Checking up on his troops, we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. And from Star Wars The Black Series, we have the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And last, but certainly not least, for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified series, Cobra Night Attack, 4-wheel drive, Stinger, and Stinger Driver, I have to say, overall, I am happy to have a Stinger in my collection. For some reason or another, this was one of my favorite vehicles in A Real American Hero. And I don't know why, but this one just, I guess it captured my imagination. You know, a Jeep running around with turbo speed and missiles on the back. And the newer colors on the driver didn't hurt, because this was the first time I personally had a Cobra officer, trooper, driver, whatever, vehicle operator who was in different colors than your standard troopers. And so that didn't hurt either. And I really, really liked that set, even though I knew it was pretty much, it was just, you know, Vamp and Vamp Mark II and Stinger were all pretty much just the same vehicle, with excuse me, a few different details and some different weapons. And of course, Vamp Mark I didn't have any doors or a roof. But I really am, I'm glad to have this in classified scale again, because as a child it was one of my favorite vehicles for whatever reason, I don't remember, to play with. And there's a lot of things to like about this. There's some things not to like about it. I'm not real happy with the fact that they just gave us the explosions and exhaust pieces and stuff from scrap iron. I would have liked for those, at least the exhaust pieces, to be retooled a little bit so that they would sit on the launcher, showing that the missile was actually, you know, leaving the launcher. And why they didn't do that, I don't know. It wouldn't really have cost them that much to retool that, I don't think. But I'm not a toy manufacturer, so I don't know. The windshield or windscreen or whatever you want to call it, front glass, being so dark and them tagging this as a night attack vehicle. So unless they got some kind of crazy infrared heads-up display in that windshield, which it doesn't really look that way to me, it doesn't make much sense for it to have that tinted of a window. So I don't know what's the thought process going on there. It's a little weird. So I do like the, you know, the actual chromy, shiny, reflective mirrors. I think that's really cool. I do like the paint on this. I do like the overall look of it. I do wish they would have used a different body for the driver. I much prefer the look of the Cobra officer. And they really need to update this mold if they're going to keep using it, to at least include the pinless arms and legs, or elbows and knees. I do like the fact they are using the officers, you know, some of his other stuff, his belts, his gear sling, and, you know, his gun accessories. So that's a good point. And I just, if they're going to continue using this mold, I really want them to update it so it kind of fits in more with the newer stuff. And they've been using this one ever since the Target exclusive Cobra Island Trooper back in 2019, I think. It was either 19 or 20. So it's time for at least a refresh on this figure mold. I don't know if I mentioned the missiles or not. I really wish they were made of a bit sturdier material. The fact that what they made it out of is kind of bendy a little bit tells me over time that, you know, parts of these missiles that aren't already bent are going to be drooping, and nobody wants drooping missile syndrome. Nobody. I do like the fact that it has the trailer hitch on the back of it, and apparently you can hitch the MMS up to it. So that's, I'm going to be thinking about that MMS to go with the Stinger at least, because I doubt we're going to get an ASP cannon, but that would be really, really cool. Also, that would be cool to tow baton a HISS tank for those of you that were able to get the HasLab HISS tank. Well, I think I've talked about this long enough. That does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.